You're not getting any older. No, your hands haven't even got bigger. But manufacturers have been engaging in the conspiracy of shrinkflation, reducing the size of your food while maintaining or even increasing the price. This particularly affects confectionery. It begs the question, by the time of Rachel Reeves's 2029 budget, will we be eating Mars bars the size of Tic Tacs? I love that. Who wrote that, by the way? That was Damien. And Easter eggs the size of paracetamols. Brilliant. Let's speak to Blanid Corliss, senior consumer reporter at The Sun. Blanid, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Ian.
Here's what happened, right? Last night, literally last night, my other half said, we're out of butter. We need butter. Got to feed the kids in the morning, love a bit of toast, got their cousins over and stuff. Went to the supermarket, only go for Kerrygold. It's God's butter.
A great Irish brand.
A great Irish brand indeed. And I get to the till, and so all I've got is just me and my little Kerrygold. I've got nothing else. And I'd normally just go to the self-service thing, but there was, you know, when you see an empty till, you go for that thing, don't you? Because you don't see it very often. So in I go, there's an elderly lady there. She said, hello, darling, you all right? And I went, yeah, fine. She goes, just the butter, is it? And I said, yes. She goes, did you know that used to be 250 grams? And I didn't know, actually. I hadn't even noticed, which is the whole beauty of shrinkflation, that you don't notice. And it's now 200 grams. It's the same price. In fact, I think she said it's a little more expensive than it used to be. I have been, and I might get emotional when I say this, a victim.
Absolutely, and it's happening across the board in supermarkets. It's something that shoppers are really frustrated by. And as you say, it's just a sneaky way that manufacturers and brands are pushing up prices, but again, you don't really notice it. The price might stay the same, but the products are getting smaller, so households are getting less value for money. It's really prevalent in chocolate bars because the price of cocoa is going up. You mentioned butter, obviously the cost of dairy is going up. Inflation figures came out last week, and both of those ingredients were mentioned as food that the price continues to rise, and that's obviously hitting manufacturers who are then passing that on to consumers. So it's not just your Kerrygold that's being affected, it's across the board. I
don't get all this. I mean, they talk about the cost of dairy going up. I mean, there's a lot of cows out there, right? I mean, there's a shed load of cows out there. You're from Ireland. You'll notice in England, you know, between the two countries, I think we've got the cow thing covered, right? I mean, they are everywhere. I mean, why has dairy gone up? I know there's lots of pressures on farmers and goodness knows what else, and then we hear that cocoa's gone up. And is this transport? I don't know what the reason is, but nothing, you never get a headline that says, oh, have you heard about dairy? It's gone down, or cocoa, as you mentioned, has gone. Everything is on the up, it seems, globally, at a time when you'd think by now we'd be at a stage where this stuff was like really cheap because we know how to manufacture it, we know how to get it, we have processes in place that make it quicker.
There's several reasons why food, wholesale food prices and ingredients can go up. Some of it might be related to weather. You mentioned energy costs as well. That also impacts manufacturers. So again, it's not just the sort of cost of food ingredients, it's other things as well. Manufacturers have been hit by the rising cost of energy. It's more expensive for them to employ people to make the food in their factories because of things like national insurance rises. So yes, food costs are continuing to go up in line with inflation. I think last week they're still going up at 4.5% for consumers. But it's sort of across the board. Everything is just continuing to go up. It's the state of the economy right now.
There is somebody we can really put in the dock on this one, however. I think the mafia don of confectionery is that chocolate frog, Freddo. Who, by the way, I saw somebody on social media the other day say, can you settle an argument for me? Is it pronounced Freddo or Fredo? Whoever said Fredo? It's not got a little accent on the E, has it? It's Freddo, right?
It's definitely Freddo. I've only ever said Freddo, and I've not heard of Fredo.
We all remember Freddos as a kid, and even as an adult, you like a sneaky Freddo. I think he is the Tony Soprano, frankly, of the confectionery world. He's running a scam, is our Fred, because that stuff has got smaller and more expensive.
Absolutely, and it's not just Freddos that are going up in price. I think that's always been the most common example. You know, it used to cost just pennies, and now it's more than £1, maybe even £2. But there's other kind of really iconic products that have also joined it. So research by Which yesterday found that loads of different chocolate brands are also sort of victims of this shrinkflation. Fudge is one. Kit Kats are also going up.
Less in those multi-packs and stuff, isn't it? Like
yeah.
They used to have 21 bars, and now you get,
I think it's 18 now in Kit Kats. And then a lot of them are, you know, they used to be 5 bars in the multi-packs that parents might buy their kids to put in lunch boxes. They've gone down to 4. But the key thing is that consumers are getting obviously less value for money because the price isn't going down with that. It's staying the same, or in some cases it's even going up. Yeah.
Another area that's always been troubling, and I know there's a little bit of rose-coloured glasses in this, because those big tubs of stuff, you get tubs of Roses and Heroes and Quality Street. When I was a kid, I mean, I'm not kidding you. If you emptied a tin, and it used to be a tin actually, not that long ago, and then they turned it to plastic, and now I think it's paper.
It's paper, yeah.
If you emptied one of those things, as I liked to do as a kid, because I just thought to see that amount of chocolate on your carpet, it was a flipping tsunami. I mean, the minute you let that thing go, they would come out. You could go round into the day. You could spread it around up the stairs, just a carpet of Quality Street everywhere. Now you get about 18 of these things in a box, and the box isn't like, it's quite slim now.
Yeah, so Quality Street is another great example of shrinkflation. This year, the box weighs 500 grams. Last year, it was 600, I believe. The Sun actually did their own research on this recently, and we found that there's up to 6 sweets missing in this year's Quality Street boxes compared with last year.
6 missing?
Yes.
That's significant.
And I believe if you're a fan of the Green Triangle Quality Street sweet, you're going to lose out on some of those this year as well.
Because they're more expensive, are they, to make the
I'm not
green
sure.
ones?
I think it might just be a coincidence that they've taken those out, or maybe they think that they're less popular with shoppers. Again, I think a lot of people would argue about that.
I could do a whole monologue on on Quality Street, Roses, Heroes. What's the other one? There's another one.
Celebrations.
Celebrations. That's it. And Finn, our producer, just said into my ear that the toffee penny, you know, the round thing in Quality Street, which is like the worst thing in the world, that he thinks is the best thing in the world. He's a bit weird, Finn, I have to say. He's only like 11, so, you know, maybe he's a bit discerning. He says they're the best. I mean, frankly, if you don't go for that toffee thing that's got a nut in it, which is the big purple one, I think it's called, and you don't go for the Green Triangle, between those two, you've got to put the two in together, by the way, to get the fusion of chocolate. If you don't do that, you're nobody, frankly. You don't know anything about chocolate. But then what you mentioned, then a lot of people go, well, who buys? Old people buy Quality Street.
Well, I have to say, even more controversial, I'm not a fan of Quality Street. I way prefer Roses.
Oh, well, I'm with you on that, because they do that little swirly nut thing, don't they?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. That's really lovely.
And I love the strawberry. I think
the
pink Roses, which is definitely not a favourite with a lot of people, but it's one of mine.
Yeah, Roses. So Quality Street is seen as a bit old school. Roses, completely unfairly, because I'm with you on this, is seen as like the stuff your nan might have stored away. And cool kids now have Celebrations and Heroes, and I don't really take those things seriously.
And Milk Tray is another one that I think has fallen out of favour, which I really don't understand. I love Milk Tray.
Milk Tray is brilliant. What an exciting box, the colour of it, the stuff inside, and again, the strawberry in Milk Tray is so absolutely bullseye territory when it comes to stuff. I might even go buy a box. It'd be a bit weird, just me sitting on a train eating a box of Milk Tray on the way home.
It's almost Christmas.
Would that be odd?
The season.
Just a man with maybe. Finn reckons I could get away with it. Me personally, I could get away with it. Maybe.
I reckon you could.
Maybe I could have Milk Tray, and when I finish the Milk Tray, I open a box of Black Magic, maybe just to finish off the sweet of sweets. Listen, I mean, this could go on. My fear is if we went back and looked at the contents of things like the sweets, it's probably got it each year. I don't know how many sweets you got, for example, in the Quality Street in 1990 or something compared to today, but I bet it's sizable.
And I think what you might find is that it's increased quite rapidly in the past few years, just with the cost of living and the cost of inflation and food prices, as you said, soaring. So I'd say, especially since the pandemic, you would find that shrinkflation has sort of increased since then as well.
If you had to go to a place and buy one chocolate bar, 'cause we were talking about this in the office earlier, what constitutes a chocolate bar? Because like Maltesers aren't a chocolate bar, they're chocolate. You find them in our vending machines around here. What would be your go-to?
Mine is really controversial, and I
Is
get
it?
a lot of hate for it. It's dairy milk, fruit and nut.
This is right. We are literally on the same page. My other half says to me, when I come home, she says, I have a dairy milk, fruit and nut. She goes, all right, Grandad. It's like, why is that an old person? It's not an old person's
I think
chocolate.
people think it's healthy, but it's just delicious.
Finn is like looking disgusted at me out there. Fruit and nut, it's the perfect combination. It's the raisins and the nuts and the chocolate. You cannot go wrong.
Absolutely.
You cannot go wrong. In fact, I'd make it compulsory for children to eat every day at school. That's how strongly I feel about this.
It's one of your 5 a day as well.
Absolutely one of my 5 a day, without doubt. Blanny, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Blanny Corliss, Senior Consumer Reporter over there at The Sun. Thank you to her.